G'day, folks. So, welcome to the first episode of Keep Rolling with myself. And this first episode is going to be just a little bit of an introduction of who I am and the podcast itself and where I would like to see it to go. So, righto, let's jump into it. Righto, we're back. A little bit awkward. Gonna talk about myself. But anyway, here we go. So, Jake Briggs, 34 years old, originally from Western Sydney, but grew up mainly on the Central Coast in Wyong, and where I still live today in the northern half of the Central Coast with my beautiful, marvellous wife Amy, and we've been together going on 18 years. We've been together since Year 10, high school, where I asked her out of the Year 10 formal, and I'm glad she said yes. And, you know, it's been a roller coaster of a ride, this journey of being a quadriplegic, and how, not only how it affects myself, the ripple effects of how it really impacts on, and not just the injury when it happened back in 2010, but even now, like how the ripple effects affect my wife, my family, my friends, work colleagues, the whole inner circle. And yeah, so it's been waves going up and down, but you know, just keep trying to wheel forward, keep rolling. So back with my injury, so I had that back in 2010 where I dove into a pool and head flinched back and went from the force of the water, and where the vertebrae pinched on the spinal cord and affected the nerves, where it left me with this acquired injury or acquired disability as a quadriplegic, C5, C6, incomplete quad. And I went through a 9-month period of being in ICU, and that was pretty tough. Couldn't move from the neck down or talk, and where my lungs were filled with fluid, and where I was getting drained for pretty much just over a month with physios and being on life support, and felt like I was breathing through a straw for that period, but kept on pushing and lungs got better, and then moved on to the next stage and up into the spinal ward, and then off to, and that was all in Royal North Shore in Sydney, and then moved to Royal Ride Rehab, just learning how to function in, it felt like a new body because, you know, I didn't know what it was like to be a quad and just how to fit in and utilise it and learn to function in the world again. And also my wife along with that journey, and just us together and family and everybody else, and just trying to navigate of how we do this. But with myself and my mindset is that, you know, life goes in stages and doors close and new ones open, and change is inevitable, you know, if it's negative or positive, and where life is not one just set blueprint where it's been drafted out and that's life. No, it gets rewritten. The blueprint, you rewrite the blueprint, and that's where it's already done itself, or you know, where you can have influence on that and try and push and be the best version of you. So, and that's sort of the mantra that I've always sort of had stuck in my head of just keep rolling, you know, being able to go from that position of not being able to breathe, not being able to talk, to, you know, so January 2010, and then March 2011 back in the workforce again in a different light, not swinging a hammer anymore, being in carpentry and building, but in a different form, still in the construction industry where I spent a long time in there, but now in the disability sector, and where I still get into construction through home mods and specialist disability accommodation, and where I work in the disability sector, but through Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander disability sector with First Peoples, which I'm very proud of. And talking about being proud of, me being a Aboriginal man, being a Wanneroo and Kamilaroi man, where Wanneroo is situated in the Hunter Valley, where it encompasses all the lower and Hunter and the lower and the top half of the Hunter Valley, or they call it the Upper Hunter, and Kamilaroi, or people pronounce it as Gomeroi or Gamilaroi, but I've grown up knowing just Kamilaroi, and a lot of my family pronounce it that way, so that's how it fits with me. And that's the second biggest tribe in New South Wales, where it starts at the Upper Hunter, where Wanneroo is, and then it spills over to the Queensland border. And that's through my mother's side. And yeah, so I'm very proud of, being an Aboriginal person and trying to strive and do what's right for the mob out there, and not just for Aboriginal people as a whole, like through all different cultures. It doesn't matter if you're black, white or brindle. And also, strongly through the disability sector, which I'm very proud of, where I can, if I'm getting the right message out there, where I'm whatever sort of aspect or job I'm doing, where it can help out that other person to navigate through the whole disability sector, where it's just general life, or depending on their disability, or if it's through what we have in Australia is a National Disability Insurance Scheme, and trying to navigate through that path, which can be pretty tricky, but it's good that we have this system in Australia. And so that's a bit about myself and my situation. Righto. So, the actual podcast. I'm really stoked to get this up and running and just seeing where it goes. Like, what's important to me is just sitting down with individuals, having a talk, having a yarn. Doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, across the whole spectrum of, if it's sport, music, disability, aboriginality, First Peoples topics, technology, artificial intelligence, conspiracy theories. Where's my tinfoil hat? I'll chuck that on later. But yeah, it's across the whole gambit of every sort of topic, situation that I want to jump into with individuals, interesting individuals, that where I can get the story out to you, where it might resonate with you or someone that where it just might be general information that you take on board, or where you're like, that resonates with me. That might be able to give a different aspect, a different look on something, or a bit of empowerment, or take it as you will. Just see where it goes. That's why we just got to keep rolling. These wheels of life just keep going, keep rolling. The world keeps turning. Ain't stopping for you, ain't stopping for me, ain't stopping for no one. So let's just get amongst it. Get these yarns out there. And if you want to get in contact with me, if you know mob, if you know people out there that will want to have a yarn, throw whatever story out in the atmosphere where they might want to have a rant, just a general yarn talk, whatever it may be. You can get me through Instagram at Street Rolling Cheetah, or through email. You can get me on one word, streetrollingcheetah@gmail.com. So come along for the ride. Come along for the journey. Let's just see where it goes. And I'd be greatly appreciated if through the YouTube channel and through the other platforms, and it's free, you can subscribe, you can give it a review, you can give it a thumbs up, you can give it a thumbs down if you don't like it, but please don't, really, no, it's all up to you. So I'm throwing this stuff out there. Let's just see where it goes. So let's move on to the next one and roll these out. Let's keep rolling.